Most of us love a good road trip. The open road, the music, the freedom. But there is a specific kind of silence that only exists on the mountain pass at 2 a.m. A silence that feels like the world is holding its breath. On 10th August 2022, Ryan and Josh were driving through Black Ridge Pass in northern Arizona. It's a 5-minute drive they had done 100 times. But that night, the road didn't end. The clock stopped, and the two people they saw in their rear view mirror, they weren't looking for a ride. They were looking for a company in dark. This is a true story told by Sam Carter about his own brother. This is Highway 47, the night the road never ended. My name is Sam Carter. Highway 47 is a lonely, winding ribbon of asphalt that cuts through the high desert mountains of northern Arizona. It's a route my family has driven for decades. But after what happened to my older brother Ryan, we don't take that road after sunset anymore. It was August 10th, 2022. Ryan and his buddy Josh were heading from Prescott to Holbrook for a friend's wedding. They were making good time in Ryan's old silver Corolla despite a summer monsoon that had been dumping sheets of rain for hours. Ahead of them lay Black Ridge Pass. It's a narrow 2-mile stretch of hairpin turns and steep drops. Usually, there is at least some traffic, long-haul, truckers or locals. But that night, the pass was a tomb. No headlights, no taillights. Just the relentless thwack-thwack of the wipers. As they ascended into the heart of the pass, the Corolla began to act up. The AC suddenly cut out, replaced by a blast of hot, stagnant air. Then the radio flared to life on its own, screaming a wall of white noise and static. But it was the smell that hit them next. The cloying, sweet stench of rotting meat. Ryan pulled over to the narrow shoulder, thinking they had hit an animal. He looked in his rear-view mirror to check the road behind him, and his heart stopped. In the faint red glow of the taillights, two figures were limping out of the fog. The man was tall, wearing a tattered grey suit that clung to his skeletal frame. His mouth was stretched into a smile that was far too wide for a human face. His lips pulled back to show every single tooth. Beside him was a woman in a shredded black dress. Her head was tilted at a sickening angle, her skull clearly crushed on one side. She had no eyes, just two hollow black beads that seemed to swallow the light. She was missing an arm and a leg, leaning her entire weight on the smiling man as they dragged themselves toward the car. "Josh, look," Ryan whispered, his voice cracking. Josh turned around and let out a choked sob. Without a word, Ryan slammed the car into drive and floored it. They should have been out of the pass in 3 minutes, but 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 20. The road was repeating. The same jagged rock formation, the same bent pine tree, the same watch for falling rock sign. They were caught in a loop. Josh tried to call for help, but his phone had died earlier. Ryan's phone showed no service, followed by a distorted robotic voice that broke through the static. "The number you are trying to reach is no longer among the living." Suddenly, the headlights flickered and died. Total darkness. Ryan slammed on the brakes, the car skidding on the wet asphalt. In the sudden silence, a voice rose from directly behind the car. It was raspy, broken sound, like dry leaves being crushed. "Got you. I am not letting you go now." The smiling man was standing inches from the back glass, his face pressed against the window. Josh scrambled to lock the doors, his hands shaking so violently he could barely move. Ryan remembered the silver pendant his grandmother had forced him to take before the trip. She called it a protector seal. He lunged for the back seat to find it, but it wasn't there. It was in Josh's hand. Josh didn't even remember picking it up. The moment Ryan grabbed the pendant and gripped it tight, the world snapped. The smell vanished. The radio went silent. The headlights surged back to life, cutting through the fog to reveal an empty road. Ryan didn't look back. He drove until they reached a small roadside chapel 10 miles away. They sat in the pews for an hour, trembling in the candlelight, waiting for the sun to rise. When they finally got home, Ryan collapsed with a 104-degree fever. He was delirious for days. It wasn't until our grandmother performed a traditional cleansing that the color returned to his face. When the neighbors heard the story, their faces went stone cold. They told us about a couple from the city who had been carjacked on a Black Ridge Pass exactly a year before. The man had been beaten and the woman, she had been tossed over the cliff like trash. Their bodies weren't found for a month. They say Highway 47 doesn't just take your time. It takes your soul if you're not careful. So if you're driving through northern Arizona and the radio starts to hiss, don't look in the mirror. Just keep driving. Ryan and Josh survived because of grandmother's intuition and an old silver pendant. But every year, dozens of cars go missing on the remote highways of the Southwest. Most people blame the terrain or the weather, but locals, they know better. Have you ever been on a road that felt like it was never going to end? Or seen something in your rear-view mirror that didn't have a shadow? Tell me your stories in the comments. I read every single one. If you want more true-to-life horror, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community of storytellers. Stay safe, stay on the main roads, and never travel on the new moon. See you in the next one.